Yep, graphing inequalities. Graphing inequalities. Let's see, how much do you remember from when you were young? All right. Does anybody know what these two symbols are called? Yes, when we were kids, we used to call it alligator and then crocodile. So much fun. But what are they officially called? Cool. Which one's which, though? Which was the first one?
The top one is less than, and the bottom one is greater than.
Perfect, Michelle. Very good. So this one is called less than. And this one is called greater than. Here's how you can tell the difference for ever and ever and ever. How do I differentiate? This one, the less than, is like an L, right? It opens in the same direction as an L, the L for less than. So that's how you can remember it. So the one that looks more like an L, not this one. This one's totally opposite of the L. The one that looks like an L is the less than. So if your high school teacher asks you, like, what is this one called? You should know immediately it's less than because it's the one with the L. Or you already have it memorized. Cool, cool, cool. Very good. So, does anybody know what we call this one? Sarah? Yes. So you have the less than part. That's this part, right? And this bottom part is your equal to. Less than or equal to. So it's like a combo. It's less than or equal to. It's very important in 7th grade. So, what's the last one called? Greater than or equal to. And I mean, this goes back to elementary, right? The alligator wants to eat the bigger number, right? So those basic skills you still do need to know. All right, do me a favor. This is going to make no sense to you whatsoever right now, but it will in a second. I want you to draw me a circle next to each inequality. A circle next to each inequality. And I want you to color in these two at the bottom. Shade in the last two circles and don't shade in the top circles. That's going to mean something as well. Super importante.
Oh, that.
What does an open circle, closed circle mean?
It's supposed to represent them on the number line.
The open and closed circle always go on the number you're talking about on the number line. But what is the difference between a closed circle and an open circle? Yes.
The closed circle is just less than and greater than, but the open circle is less than or greater than, and the closed one is less than or equal to.
Okay, well what does that mean?
They're different.
Okay. Yes? Yes.
The open circles are like, it has a variety of numbers. Like it could be like, let's say 5 is less than 2, right? And the 5 is less than 7, and there's gonna be, so it's gonna be 7. So you're gonna put the little circle on the 7, and it could be more than that.
Okay. All right. Yes.
Isn't it to find a variable?
Yes, we are using variables.
Oh yeah, I like variables.
Yay! Let's see if he says that in 5 minutes from now.
I'm still very. I hate
All right. Okay. I was just trying to see how much we know, but okay. So I did hear some a closed circle you're going to use when it does have the equal to part. That is true. Some of you did say that. But I wanted to know, what else does this circle mean, the closed circle mean? So we're going to graph. So in 7th grade, we are going to graph inequalities. Now, inequalities are not, in 7th grade, are not between two numbers. They are between a variable and a number.
I did this on Alex.
Good. So what did you learn from Alex?
That there's a lot of problems. That there's no torture in this book.
All right. So how do I read this problem?
X is less than 2.
X is less than 2. So what numbers are less than 2?
1 and 0.
And that's it?
Everything under 1 is negative. 1 and every.
Yeah. So what about 1.999999?
Yes.
So 0 is less than 2, right? Is 4 less than 2? No. So here, going back to elementary school, is the alligator eating the bigger number? Yes. Is the alligator eating the bigger number here? No, that's why the alligator is sad. Okay, so this is how we graph in my class for 7th grade. You're going to draw a number line. Okay, this is how we graph. I'm going to make it the easiest for you. Whatever number they give you here, that's the number in the middle. Don't use 0 unless this is 0. So whatever number this is will go in the middle of your graph. So this is 2. That means I'm going to use 2. Okay? Whatever number they give you, you put it in the middle. Then in my class, you're going to do 2 below that number and 2 above that number. We'll get some water while you fill in the 2 before and the 2 after. Ben, can you stop touching the iPad? Thank you. All right, what are the 2 numbers below?
1 and 0.
1 and 0. What are the 2 numbers above?
2, 3, and 4.
3 and 4. Okay, so 2 numbers above, 2 numbers below. Good practice of your number line. Okay, now, open or close circle. So, you look at your inequality. It says X is less than 2.
Open.
Okay, you go less than, you go here, and you go, oh, it's an open circle. And I'll tell you why in a second. Okay, so one way is you look at the chart, right, and go, okay, this is less than, and less than, Miss O'Malley said it was an open circle. She hasn't told me why it's open. She just told me to use an open circle. Very good. Okay. Now, this is how we would graph in elementary school. Put a dot on the number. But is our answer just, 2? No, like you guys said, there's more numbers, right? So which numbers are less than 2? The numbers on the left or the numbers on the right?
The left. So you just draw a line to the left.
So we shade to the left. Good. What does a shading mean? Shading means that all of these numbers, all to the left, and I can keep going until infinity negative, are possible solutions for this inequality. There is no one answer. X is not equal 5. No, X is all the numbers less than 2. Does anybody can maybe speculate, educated guess why it's open and not closed circle at this point? Yes.
Because the variable isn't a tick.
Yes. Exactly. Can I use 2 as my answer?
No.
Is 2 less than 2? No. So that's the reason, very good, Jade, we do not have a closed circle. The closed circle is referring to the equal to part, meaning this is a possible answer. Is this a possible answer? No, it's not, because I don't have that equal to part. It's like a placeholder. It's like where we're starting, but technically 2 is not a possible solution. I cannot plug it in. Like, what does this mean in the real world? This means like we're going to fundraise, and everything we sell is going to be less than $2. Everything we're going to sell is less than $2. Can I sell something for $2? No. Nope. Can I sell something for $1.99? Yes. Now, if I had an equal to, I would be selling things for $2. Or less. But this, if it was for real world, I would have my shading, which will be in high school. In high school, or maybe in 8th grade, not sure, you stop shading. Like, you have a little bit of shading. In 7th grade, we just shade everything. And then in 8th grade or in high school, you have limitations. You're like, okay, we're going to start shading here, but you're going to stop shading right there. Why? Well, because if you're selling things, can you sell things for less than $1 or less than $0? No. So in 8th grade and high school, your shading is limited. In 7th grade, now we just shade everything.
So we use logic in high school?
No, different scenarios. Like, what would be a scenario for this one? I don't know. Let me see. A fish can survive? No. All right. Let's graph this one. Who can tell me what this problem is telling us?
X is greater than or equal to 7.
Very good. X is greater than or equal to 7. So the first job is, can you read it? Okay, second is to graph it. So we're just learning how to graph. So in my class, what goes in the middle? The 7. Then you do 2 numbers below and 2 numbers above.
Where's the 7 usually if it's not in your class? Is it like usually on the left side?
Like a traditional number line?
Yeah. Or is it always in the middle?
You use this number in the middle. And you're asking me where the traditional 7 would be? Like a normal number line. Where would you put it on a normal number line?
In the middle.
Okay. Open or close circle?
Close.
Close. So this extra little piece right there tells me that it should be closed. Okay? Now, I'm looking for numbers that are greater than or equal to 7. So which way am I going to shade? To the left or to the right?
Right. In the middle.
Why? Oh, I didn't do this. 7, 8, 9, 6, 5. Why do I shade to the right? Mathematically, I shade to the right because these are the numbers that make this inequality correct. If I choose this number, is 9 greater than or equal to 7? Yes, it is. But if I chose this one, is 5 greater than or equal to 7? No. So hence, I can't shade this way. I can only shade in the directions that my answers actually make sense to plug in. Now, if I plug in 7, is 7 greater than or equal to 7? It's the equal to part, so that makes me happy because it's true. It's a true statement. So that's why I have a closed circle. I have a closed circle because of that equal to part. I can use the number 7. 7 is part of my answers. You can only ride on the roller coaster if you are 7 years old or above. So can you be 7 and ride the roller coaster? Yes.
Does height matter?
Not age. I don't know. It's usually height, right? It's because it's scary. It's not intense. It's just scary. We don't want to scare the small children.
Small children? Oh.
Young.
Young.
All right. Okay. Can you graph this one on your own? Graph that one completely on your own. I'm not going to say a word. Sam. All right, open or close circle. Left or right?
Right.
Perfect. Good job. Easy? Okay, now let's do the hard ones. Hard ones. X is greater than -2.
But it's not that hard.
That's easy. It looks like a 7. Yeah.
I know. But good thing is, you know we're doing inequality, so this 7 is really an inequality. Okay, what do you think is the hardest part?
The negative.
Yep. Well, the graphing. For some reason, kids cannot put 2 numbers below and 2 numbers above. So let's see if you guys can do quickly and correctly the 2 numbers below -2 and the 2 numbers above -2 in the correct spot. Let's see. That's the challenge.
This is easy.
The shading and the open circle, closed circle, that's pretty easy. It's the numbers below the number line. That's no bueno. All right, so Ben, you want to try it out in the back? What would this number to the left be? Wow, Ben, you have like an echo to your voice. What would this one be? Yeah. And then this one? Good, and 0. What do kids usually do?
They do -3.
They flip it. They'll put the 0 on this side. Yeah, so we don't want to do that. All right, open or close circle? Open, and then we're going to shade to the...
Right.
We're looking for numbers that are bigger than -2. So if I plug in 0, is 0 greater than -2? Yes. Is -4 greater than -2? No. And again, why? Well, remember, negatives is everything's backwards. I know you see a 4 here, but it's not really a 4. It's a -4. Kind of like money. You're owing me way more money here. We don't want that. Everything is backwards in the negative land. All right. We okay? All right. X is less than or equal to -10. X is less than or equal to -10.
Is there a way to actually make this hard?
Yeah, high school.
Can you give
Everything just gets harder in high school.
Yeah, the thing is that, how do you call it? This is your level 1. You have to understand it here in 7th grade for high school not to be that much harder. Kind of like for those of you who know how to multiply, math isn't very hard for you because you know how to multiply. For those of you who struggle with math, do you know your multiplication table? Chances are you kind of struggle in it. So 7th grade math becomes so much more harder because of your multiplication facts. All right, what goes in the middle? -10. 2 numbers below, 2 numbers above the negative. 2 numbers below, 2 numbers above. All right, what are the 2 numbers below? One right below it. -11. And then -12. Good. And this one? And -8. Okay, open or close circle. So this right here, guys, this right here tells you it's going to be closed. Okay? Now, Sam, what numbers are less than or equal to -10? Which numbers are less than? On the left side or on the right side? And the correct answer is left.
Uh-oh. So I was right with the arrow, I just didn't get the circle right because I forgot the thing.
They're both equally important. Open or close circle, and then which way do you shade? What's the number one mistake? The shading. And in negative land. I guess you answer your own question. How does this become harder? You shade the wrong way on negatives.
If you say the problem, it makes more sense.
Yes, it does. 100%, Ben. That's a great question. That's a great statement. If you say it to yourself, x is less than or equal to 10. So I'm looking for numbers that are less than 10 and or equal to. So these are the numbers that are less than 10. So if you know how to read this problem, that should also help you.
So when you say if x is less than or equal to negative 10, the equal to is always going to be a close circle.
Which means mathematically, you can use this number in this problem. Okay? All right, now let's make it super hard. I don't like them this way.
It's so hard.
I don't like it this way. It is the same thing, but it's not the same thing.
What?
What's the difference? X is on the other side. I don't like it this way. Never, ever, ever, if you're in my class, never, ever, 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 ever write your answers this way. So if you're doing your math homework in a couple of days, and it's like, hey, can you write the inequality? Never start with the number. Always start with your variable. Always start with your variable. Always, always start with your variable.
Did you get it wrong?
There's a higher probability of you making a mistake.
Oh.
Okay? My job is to make it as easy as possible. And I'm telling you, this way, I don't like it. I'm going to teach it to you. I don't like it. There is a way for you to always make it easier for yourself. All right, so it starts off the same way. Right?
Well.
That doesn't change. Open or close circle. Okay, that doesn't change. Okay, which way do I shade? Left or right? Read it, like Ben said. Read it. 12 is... So 12 is greater than x. So which numbers, or which way does this statement? It's true. It's to the left. Now, if you have this, you can switch it. You can just immediately go. You can rewrite it, and to me, this is easier. So if you're given this on the test, if you're given this on a worksheet, just rewrite it. Have your x in the front. It's so much easier. X is less than 12. Okay, which numbers are less than 12? Oh, the numbers on the left. X is less than 12. So you want to shade in that direction. So every time you see it backwards, just rewrite it. You'll make less mistakes. Does anybody see a pattern when graphing? Does anybody see a pattern that we've been using without really knowing it? Ben?
Numbers on the right are greater numbers, and numbers on the left are
Less. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. Anything else that we notice? Okay. All right. Okay. To be continued. Let me check. What are we doing? We are. What did we just do? We graphed it, right? All right. We're gonna do something ridiculously easy. On task, children, on task. Just when you least expected me, they fly in. right, Sam. We're focusing on what we're supposed to be doing. Are we all on the front side? Holes are on the left.
Wait, for the number, we would start on the number.
Yes. So you see how they already give you the number line? So you have to start on the number that they give you. So obviously it's not in the middle, right? So -2, we got to find -2. Where is -2?
On the number line.
Right there on the number line. It's not dead center. They're putting zeros in the middle. But then if you put 0 in the middle, don't you end up writing more numbers? Yeah. So open or close circle? Close. So we're going to put a closed circle on top of the -2, just like that. And then you read it. X is greater than or equal to -2. So if X is greater than or equal to -2, which way do I shade? Do I shade to the left or do I shade to the right? To the right. So we shade to the right with an arrow signifying that, you know what, even though I stopped shading, the arrow tells you, you keep going. All of these numbers, all the way to kabillion, would work. Is there a kabillion?
Oh, and there's a backside.
Of course there's a backside.
So that means for number 2, it would be an open circle and going to the left.
Yep.
You shade to the opposite side of the little ad thing.
Are we?
No, actually, yeah.
It's always to the opposite
No, it
side.
kind of looks like you do it with the tip of the triangle. Yeah.
I agree with you, Anna. That's why I said, did anybody notice anything with graphing?
Unless you just order it wrong.
It made you look. It made you look. Good. All right, those are my first 4 answers. Check. Don't copy, but check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Oh wait, you just need to write the arrow and then where it goes.
Well, what else would you want to do?
What were you doing before?
Huh?
What were you doing before? Like when you put
Oh,
cross
yeah.
the lines
That would be you could do that. These are pretty simple though. I would do that if it's like a really complicated number and you're like, wait a minute. Or like you don't know which way to shade. Feel free to do that.
Wait, feel free to do what?
Plug in your numbers. Well, good thing I stopped you. You've only done like no more than 4. Right?
No, I did like 2.
Oh.
Oh man. I'm so smart.
I am going to update your